Alam mo ba? Oh, hindi mo alam, 'di ba? Hindi gano'n. Alam mo ba na isa sa 5 businesses dito sa Philippines ay hindi suma-success within their first year of operating? Isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit ay ang hindi maayos na pag-manage ng business finances. Yes po, opo, kaperahan. In this episode, pag-uusapan natin kung paano mo maiiwasan maging part ng statistics na yon. Kaya tara, i-breakdown natin yan. Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rob, your personal finance guide. Before we start this episode, let me share something with you. 92.7% ng nanonood sa channel na ito ay hindi nakasubscribe. So, if you enjoy my episodes, can I ask you a small favor? Hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow, reach more Filipinos, and spread financial literacy. The bigger we get, the more value I can bring to you. And I promise I'll keep delivering quality episodes as we scale. Deal? Okay, let's get to the breakdown. Maraming Filipino entrepreneurs ang magagaling talaga sa products o services nila. Pero minsan, pagdating sa finances, nagsa-struggle. Malaking problema ito sa negosyo kasi isa yung financial mismanagement sa maraming dahilan kung bakit hindi sumasukses yung business natin dito sa Pilipinas. Sure naman ako na kahit isang beses sa buhay nyo, may narinig na kayong horror story sa business na yung perang kinita sa business o yung pera mismo ng business, ginamit pang travel, pinangsugal, or whatever, tapos hindi na nila mabawi. So, ang ending, affected yung business o minsan, sarado talaga. I mean, babagsak na. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin kung paano ba i-handle ang pera ng negosyo. Another disclaimer lang na hindi po ako business expert at hindi ko i-claim. In fact, marami pa akong dapat matutunan. But I think whatever knowledge that comes along the way is worth i-share sa inyo. Masama tayong matuto. So, always do your research and due diligence, okay? Isa sa mga malaking pagkakamali ng nagsisimula sa negosyo ay pinagsama-sama yung mga pera nila. Kasi mataas yung tendency na matrigger yung reward psychology natin kapag nakita natin na may pumapasok na pera dun sa isang account or like ito, yung hawak natin kahit physical lang. Dahil nga, halo-halo. So, mahirap ma-distinguish yung alin yung galing sa business, alin yung galing sa ibang sources, alin galing sa sahod mo kung meron ka man sahod. Mataas din yung chance na ibili mo ng reward para sa sarili mo yung pera ng business kapag kumita. Kasi may isip mo dyan, ay, kumita naman pala yung business ko. Deserve ko ng reward. Oh, yan. Yan. Hindi. Kami, sa business namin, meron kaming separate na sheet na tinatrack namin yung income and expenses para ma-review rin namin kung saan kami majority gumagastos at kung ano yung pwede naming i-cut. Dati, meron kaming merienda fund. Ano lang yun, maliit lang naman yun. Pero after a while, nagsarili na kaming gastos kung ano yung pambili ng merienda namin kasi it eats the overall profit na pwede sana namin magamit for reinvestment. That's one lesson learned na hindi na namin, I think, uulitin kasi nga, nagsisimula pa lang yung business eh. Kung wala ka pang separate account, I highly recommend na mag-open ka kahit savings lang muna. Kasi yung business account, mataas yung requirement. So, simplihan lang natin. I recommend Union Bank or Metro Bank since yun yung mainly na ginagamit ko sa mga transactions. Comment below kung may other kang recommendation. Lastly, bigyan mo ng sahod yung sarili mo para ma-feel mo rin na hindi ka lang puro trabaho. Pero not to the point na ginagatasan mo na yung business mo. Ako personally, sobrang okay lang sa akin kahit mababa lang yung... Actually, wala pa kaming sahod dito sa pagbebenta namin. More on allowance lang. Kasi nga, we understand the game. And dahil hindi pa nga stable yung business, hindi namin pwedeng kuhanan ng malaking portion yung pasahod. Dapat more on pagpapaikot dun sa pag-grow ng business. Okay, next na gagawin natin sa pagmamanage ng finance ng business is i-track lahat ng cash flow. In my previous episode, 3 money mistakes I made in 2025, sinabi ko na hindi na ako 100% nagtatrack ng personal finance ko because it gives me anxiety. Pero, ibang usapan pagdating sa business. Di ka pwedeng pa-chill-chill dito kasi it will greatly affect the overall operation ng business. Dapat hanggang sentimo tinatrack mo. Magsisimula ka sa sarili mo. Pag meron kang mga tao, hindi na pwede yung buo yung tiwala mo sa kanila. Of course, mahalaga na may tiwala pero there has to be some level of transparency. So, itatrack talaga. Kung may magagamit kang software, I highly recommend it. But most ng mga accounting software na available online ay may bayad talaga. Kung meron mang free version, usually, limited yung functionality. kung wala ka talaga makitang fit na software sa pag-track ng cash flow ng business, mag-spreadsheet or Excel ka na lang. Kasi, well, in my experience, that's what we do. Hindi rin naman ganun kadali yung spreadsheet kasi almost everything is manual and magsa-start ka talaga from scratch. But we still end up using it kasi nga, yung mga software na na-try namin before, hindi fit dun sa operations namin. So, lalo lang kaming nahihirapan. And pangalawa, yung accessibility online. Lastly, kung wala talaga, edi mag-paper recording ka. There's really no excuse for this. Kami, we use both the paper records and the spreadsheet records para at least we can counter-check everything before the day ends. Pag sinabi nating i-track ang cash flow, as in everyday po, itatrack po natin. Hindi at the end of the week or hindi at the end of the month. Kasi yung memory natin, maiksi lang yan. So, we can't remember everything. Naalala ko yung quote na sinasabi sa amin ng prof namin. Hi, Ma'am Nina. Especially kapag exams na mag-note daw kami kasi non-verbatim. Pero the thought is, the faintest ink is like way better than the sharpest mind. Hindi ka po superhero sa memory. So, i-track mo lahat ng cash flow. And last, alamin mo yung profit margins. Meron na ako ditong nakalimutan ko kung anong episode yun. Pero, sinabi ko doon na hindi talaga lahat ng sales ay profit. So, magkaiba po yun Kailangan mo talaga malaman kung magkano yung kinikita mo per product or service. Maraming Filipino entrepreneurs ang hindi alam ang exact profit margins nila. You really have to calculate total costs. Yung total cost, yun yung materials, plus labor, plus overhead. Kasi marami pang mga ganon before ka mag-set ng price. Hindi pwedeng kutob-kutob dito sa business kasi hindi mo malalaman kung ano ba siya. Growing ba yun? Diba? You really have to do the math. Tapos, i-review mo yung profit margins quarterly, mga ganun. Depende sa inyo. Basta, you have to review. Next is, you have to identify the products na pinaka-profitable at doon ka mag-double effort. So, yun, yung business namin, nagbebenta kami ng sabon and napansin namin na among our products, meron talagang top 3 kami. So, doon kami nag-focus at the moment since sila nga yung fast-moving supplies or like products na binibenta namin. And i-adjust nyo yung pricing or suppliers kung kinakailangan. Kasi when we're starting, medyo mataas yung packaging cost namin. Since wala pa kaming alam masyado na ibang suppliers. But when we found one na mas mura at same quality lang naman, we changed our supplier. And that's okay if it helps sa business. Lalo na in terms ng expenses. Marami pa namang ways to manage our business finances. But these are just few of the surface level knowledge I can give para magka-idea ka where to start. Again, always do your research. Huwag lang kayo basta-basta maniniwala kahit sa sinasabi ko. So, there's no one size fits all. If you want me to break down something specific in this channel, please leave a comment below and I'll try my best to make an episode about it. If you enjoyed this episode, you're gonna love my other episodes too, where I break down other personal finance concepts. That's it for this episode. See you on the next. Mata ne!